Hey guys, in set number 4, so I have already covered these verses, but I really wanted to bring them up again. 29 through 37, specifically 33, which reads, "Fear not to do good, my sons, for whatsoever ye sow, ye shall also, whatsoever ye sow, that shall ye also reap." I struggle with old-timey language. "Therefore, if ye sow good, ye shall also reap good for your reward." So, why do we sometimes fear doing good? Because sometimes we do that. We're like, I don't know if I want to do good. I'm a bit worried about doing that nice thing. Or it's going to be taken wrong, or I'm going to offend someone, or it's inappropriate, or whatever. So what about these verses gives you courage? The fact that there's, and he goes on to say, "Fear not, little flock." That, I've got you. You're all good. And that I'm with you. And to doubt not and fear not. There's some really good encouraging words in there around how Christ is with us. But to go about doing good and fear not to do good, my sons. If you do look at the footnote at that, it talks about courage. Have courage. What about these verses gives you courage? The fact that I know that what I put out comes back gives me courage, and that if I put out ugly and hateful, then that comes back, and I don't want that. I want good stuff. I want happy stuff. I want all the good things. So that's what gives me courage. Courage is like doing it with, even though I feel the fear, do it anyway. That's courage to me. Is feel the fear, doing it anyway. So think of the parable of the talents. What are you fearing to do instead of growing your talents? Like the one who buried the talent in the ground and kept it safe. It's like, yeah, but you didn't grow it. You didn't expand it and make it become everything. If we're going about doing good and we're not fearing to do good, the things that we're blessed to be able to do are incredible. And what a huge blessing that is to be able to have those opportunities. So take those opportunities for doing good. Sometimes doing good things are so simple. They're the littlest things, and sometimes they're hard, big things. Mostly they're just little things, like a kind word or a smile or a hug or an acknowledgement can mean the world to someone. There's so many different ways that we can express that doing good, whatever it is, and it's using our talents as well. Doing that. So what does courage look like for us in this day? Well, so fear is the opposite of courage. So when he says doubt not, fear not, he's saying doubt not, have courage. So even though you feel fear, do it anyway. Don't let it become crippling. Don't let it become overwhelming and stop you from doing the things that are good. Stop you from doing the things that are hard but awesome. Don't be like, we're talking about last week, or maybe the week before, can't quite remember, about how Martin Harris, it was last week, about Martin Harris feared the world more than he did, or Joseph Smith even feared the world in the way that men talked more than they did God. And they were still learning that God was over everyone. And they were like, these men you're brought up to respect people, you're brought up to look at men or women these days who are, expert in their field. They have great knowledge. You respect their intelligence. And so when they say something and you're like, oh, I'm not doing, I'm doing something else, then you suddenly start being fearful of that thing. And it's like, no, you're going to have courage to do the right thing anyway. And that's why you need to surround yourself with good people. Good people who have that same belief system as you. Even if they're not of this church, they still have that same Christian mindset. Or I had a really good friend who was Buddhist who had that same mindset of like, do good, be kind, don't injure things that, and don't speak if you don't need to. Like all the same values. That's what you need to surround yourself with. Sister Kimball had said previously, many years ago, never suppress a generous thought. Because if you're like thinking, is it from the Holy Ghost? Is it something I'm supposed to go do? Well, even if it wasn't, is it a nice thing? Is it going to make someone feel happier, better? Go about doing good. Do that. Jesus went about doing good. Like, don't be afraid. Fear not to do good. Have courage in doing good. So have a think about that and how that kind of applies and looks like in your life right now, because life is freaking hard right now for many of us. There's so many different things going on, and it's overwhelming many times over. So how can we be braver in that? Just think about how you could be braver and how you could take more courage in doing good every day and not fear it or fear what the world would think of you or anything like that. Just go about, fear not to do good. Yeah. Alright, hang around. We're going to go and talk about even as you desire. It's an interesting one. I'll see you there.